Hi, and welcome to KXAN Plus. I'm your host, Esmeralda Zamora, and today we have an episode of Weather Answers with Rich, where we're going to break down some of the most relevant viewer questions of this week, as well as dive into Rich's blog towards the end of our stream. And with me to do this is, of course, meteorologist Rich Segal. Rich, how you doing today?
Well, we're doing fine. We have everything ready to go here. We've got a couple of great questions, and so we're really happy to dive into them.
Yes, and that first question is very, very interesting. It has to do with volcanoes. And the question is, will the Hawaiian volcano affect ocean currents? I have some really good video of that volcano. Let's look at it really quick.
At it.
Ooh, lots
All
of lava.
Okay, in the short term, the answer is yes, because some of that lava is entering the Pacific Ocean. Now, that's just really hot stuff, as you
can see that back there.
You can just see that, yes, exactly. The lava has temperatures of over 2,000 degrees, which creates a boiling effect, and that serves to raise the ocean temperature by about 2 to 5 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 1.1 to 2.8 degrees Celsius. But this is not a long term. It's confined really to the vicinity of the volcano. Obviously, they tell people just to stay away, admire it from afar, don't go anywhere near it. There's certainly not going to be people in the waters there anyway. But this is more of a short term because these eruptions are sporadic. They don't happen daily. They don't happen weekly. They happen when they happen, as is the case with the Kilauea volcano in Hawaii. So again, more of a short-term effect. This doesn't go too far away from the immediate vicinity of where the volcano is located.
Yeah, the volcano is not on a schedule, so we don't really know when it's going to erupt. But I'm sure the locals that live near the area know or are always being told to stay out of the water.
Yes.
What about the animals in the water?
I couldn't tell you. I'm sure that the marine life pretty much steers clear of the area where the lava is spilling in because I'm sure that they can feel it the same way that a human would.
I'm sure they have some sensors that tell them, hey, stay away, right? Our second question is, why haven't there been more freezes in Austin? We're recording this on January 18th, so as of today, there was a freeze.
At 7:33 this morning, the low in Austin was 31, but the actual freeze for this date started at 6 a.m. when the temperature fell to 32. So this is day number 2 of freeze. The average is 12. But for the most part, and this question will tie into the third question that we had. We had a viewer who did not want to be identified, wanting to know more about the El Nino pattern that is developing. And so we've got a couple of maps and charts that will show that. The influence is still with La Nina, and this means that the Pacific Ocean waters are cooler than normal. For us here in central Texas, this means that we have very little rain, and the lack of rain has been evident since the second half of July. This was after the July floods, but starting on about the 16th of July and going all the way through today, we've had a significant absence of rain. We've only had 0.04 of an inch of rain in January at Camp Mabry, and we're already halfway through the month. It also means temperatures warmer than normal, and we have seen warmer than normal months since September on into October, November, December, and we anticipate that January will be just as warm. So what is happening is with the main branch of the jet stream up to the north, and we'll show that to you in a map model in just a moment, it means that the cold air really doesn't penetrate Texas. We miss a lot of those Arctic and Canadian air masses that are prone to give us the colder air. Like we see today, we had a little parcel of energy, cold air that came down with the front that came through this past Friday, and that's what led to the brutally cold morning that we had. I can't believe that there was a half marathon and people were running in it. Isn't that
They were running
wonderful?
in these temperatures.
Yes.
And I was hurting for them. Some of them had those aluminum-looking blankets over them after they were finished running, and I could not imagine that.
All right, so our next chart will be the breakdown of the transition from La Nina to
El
the
Nino.
neutral to El Nino. So as we go to this map here, we see the blue bar, that's the La Nina. The gray bar means equal chances of both. And then the red bar is the El Nino. We are in a La Nina now, but you see that as the blue bar goes down, we see the La Nina pattern going away. And then we'll stay in an enso neutral for a few months. And then we get into, starting in April, May, June, that's the AMJ, just above the word season, we start seeing a little bit of an increase in the chances of a El Nino developing. And those chances continue to go up and pass the gray bar in June, July, and August and continue into the fall. And so this is what we're looking for. These are the chances, and it's a pretty decent chance, greater than 50%, of the El Nino developing perhaps as early as the summer, but definitely by the fall. So as we go a little bit further into our discussion here, we're seeing that the pattern of La Nina, this is La Nina, these are when the water temperatures are cooler. The main branch of the jet stream, that blue curved line with the arrow at the end, finds that the wetter than normal conditions are confined primarily to the Pacific Northwest and in areas around the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley, while south of that arrow, we're looking at what we've had so far over the past several months, drier than normal and warmer than normal. Now watch what happens to that blue wavy line with the arrow at the end. It comes down to the south, and now it takes on a shade of red. But the point is we see warmer than normal temperatures, and that leads to wetter than normal conditions for us. Now, we know this is true because we've had a couple of flood events because of an El Nino. One in 2015, we had the floods on Memorial Day weekend. And then in 2018, we had the flood on the Llano River that caused the river to rise 35 feet in 24 hours. We are wetter and cooler in an El Nino pattern. And I have just a few notes here. The sea surface temps are warmer in the Pacific, the equatorial Pacific, around the equator. The Pacific jet stream shifts to the south. We get increasing rain chances, and boy, we are rooting for this to happen.
Yes.
And the potential will be there for heavy rain. There's also the potential of an active severe weather season when we have this, and then the temperatures are cooler than normal. And if we can get cooler than normal temperatures in June, July, and August, many people will be very happy.
And does that mean we would also have an active hurricane season if we had this?
Not an active season. When there's El Nino, the hurricane season is not as active because of wind shear, where the winds at the various levels are not conducive for the hurricanes. There will be hurricanes, we know that, but the season is often predicted to be less than what it would be because of that El Nino.
Interesting. So we're expected to see more of an El Nino pattern. If anyone is interested in keeping track of our El Nino outlook or anything like that, where can they do that?
KXAN.com, weather and traffic tab, and go to, I believe there is a tab that we have, and if not, we'll create one that says La Nina, El Nino.
Yeah, we should get that in our website so it's easier to find. Yeah. Well, we also have a blog post that is on our website right now that I want to ask you about. What is this post about?
Well, we've been talking about this. It seems like every year we talk about the fact that Earth is warming, United States is warming. And so this is the 2025 just completed was the United States' fourth warmest year since 1895. And most of these warmest years have occurred since the century started. It was not only the United States, but it was the Earth or the entire globe's third warmest year. And you see here we have a graphic here that shows the 10 hottest U.S. years on record. And you can't make it out. You can see it on the blog at KXAN.com, but you can see that every year we have gone, we haven't gone up every year. We just are warmer or hotter, depending on your viewpoint. Than normal, and I believe it's the bar fourth from the right that says 2025. Earth's warmest year was in 2024. The average temperature, if you go a little bit further up the line, was as much as 4 degrees above, and primarily across Alaska and the Southwest. But on average, it was about 2 degrees above normal for the data that was analyzed. And then this is a graph showing how the Earth has warmed, or the United States has warmed over time. And you see nothing below the 0 degree Fahrenheit line after about 1965, 1970, 1980, somewhere there. After that,
it's
all uphill. And then the blog also goes into the global temperatures, the 10 hottest global years on record. and 2025 was third warmest, 2024 and 2023 ahead of that. And then this one also has a comparison of the warming since about 1850s. You'll scroll a little bit further down, and there it is, global temperatures. And look at that spike. I mean,
Wow.
it has been consistent.
It's been
since
too
the
hot for too
1930s.
long.
And
Yeah.
yes, and it shows no sign. And this is, this is in part because of the burning of fossil fuels like oil, gas, and coal. There are signs, that there are some countries that are doing their part in order to curb this. The demand for electricity continues to increase, and the blog writes that 70% of electrical demand across the world in 2024, I believe, was because of renewable energy like solar and wind. And then it also goes into the greenhouse effect and how the sun creates a greenhouse effect, but then you add in the burning of the fossil fuels, and you see that effect of the heat trapping pollution gets a little bit bigger. So that's what the blog is about.
And that blog is on our website right now, KXAN.com.
Yes.
You can find it on the homepage. And this is an interesting read. We always talk about how warm our Earth is. Our area on this Earth is getting warmer and warmer as the years progress. And hopefully this year changes a little bit.
We'll
maybe.
hope. We can only hope.
Well, Rich, thank you for sharing all of this with us and your blog as well. Those questions were so fun to dive into, and excited about maybe next week or the week after.
You got it.
We'll see you then. Bye.